Hello, hi, you're welcome. And it's Henry, the computer guy. So today I actually wanted us to talk about three items, and they are all related to Microsoft Excel. So first of all, I want us to look at how we can provide protection to our Excel file. So you might be, let's say, in a company. You have one computer, but all people have access to that computer. But there is some sensitive data in your Excel file that you don't want them to see, so you can as well provide a password to that Excel file. And number two, we are going to be seeing how we can provide protection to a worksheet. For example, if someone has access to that Excel file, let's say for them they have a password, but you want to limit their, let's say, changes to that worksheet. So you can as well provide some protection to a worksheet by, let's say, preventing, let's say, the accidentally deleting of the data, let's say modifying of that data onto that worksheet. So it can as well work in that way. So we can provide protection to a worksheet. And lastly, it is going to be providing number three, providing protection to a workbook. And in that case, you might be having some users that you actually don't want to, let's say you don't want them to view some hidden worksheets, you don't want them to add some worksheets, you don't want them to delete some worksheets, and many others that we are going to be actually looking at. So all of those ones are going to actually be made simpler for you. So now, before we begin, I already made an Excel file down here, the one we are going to be actually using, and it is related to actually, let's say that those provided us with this information, he wants us to enter some information into this Excel file. So first of all, we are going to first fill in some of the formulas here and functions such that we can have some of the answers there. For example, we are going to begin with the total, and for the total, that was actually the summation. We shall say equals, then the summation, sum of what? We are going to be adding, let's say these ones up to biology. So from ICT to biology, so I'm going to drag this one up to bio, then I click enter. So I'll come and drag my formula for other results to be given to me. Then for the average, it will be equals, then which is the average as the formula. Then again, we are highlighting from ICT to biology. Then enter. So you can also fill or drag the formula to other cells. Let's get the position, and that one is actually the rank. We shall say equals rank. Then we come and say we have our rank. We are going to be giving positions to these people, but we are going to be basing on the average. So I'll come and say that is the number, then comma. We need to get the reference, so we shall refer to all those people in our class. But remember, the reference has to be absolute. So on your keyboard, you're going to press function 4 to make it absolute, or to put dollar signs there for them to be absolute. Then comma, we need the order. For example, I can use any of the orders that I have here. Let me use descending. So I'll click on it, then I'll say enter. So that is it. So I'll also drag my formula to here. So now, actually now we are seeing some of the answers that there are. Then come here and we'll look at some of the answers here. We shall be getting the highest value. For example, that will be equals to max. So maximum of, let's say this one up to this one. Then we press enter. So it will automatically adjust if we add the results there, then up to biology. Then we come down here, we give it equals the same mean, which is the one for the lowest, and we are going to highlight again from here up to here, then we press enter. Then again we come and drag our formula to all these other cells. So those are actually the answers that we are having. So now, remember, we said that we are going to begin with giving protection to our Excel file. Now this is our Excel file. We don't want someone to have access to it. So what we do, we shall give it protection. So how do we do that? We shall come to our file. So when we come to our file, we come to what we call the info. You click there. So when you click on the info, it will provide you with some information, and that is where we have our protection. So what means that we are going to come and say we want to encrypt it with a what? With a password. So such that whenever we open or whenever someone tries to open this file, it will ask for a password. So you will come and say this. Then you enter the password that you feel you want to use. And remember, this one will not, it cannot retrieve the forgotten password. So that means that you have to be sure of the password that you're entering. It has to be memorable. So let me put, for example, let me put a password, any. And they will tell me that I have to again retype it. So I'll say, okay, then I retype it again for them to prove whether it's the same. Then I'll come and say, okay. And it is going to tell us that our workbook is protected. So it will require us to put a password whenever we have to open it. We can click on save such that our information is saved. So now, when I close this file, it will ask me for a password to open it again. So I'll close it and look for where it is. Remember, it is in my documents. I'll come and open. Then I go to my documents. Then I'll look for my file, which is results. So I'll open it. Let me open it with a Excel, of course. So when it opens, just like that. Sorry. So let me open it. I'll come to my Excel. Then I'll have to make this one bigger for everyone to see. Then I'll come and load the result. So when I load the result, of course, it will not display any information there. It will have to ask for a password. So that means I'll come and put in my password. So let me type in my password that I put in the beginning. So now that means that we are done with the protection of our Excel file. That means that if we are using a computer or we use a computer by multiple people, so no one will have access to our Excel file because it is being protected by a password. That is the first one. Now, I want us to actually look at how we can provide protection to our worksheet. Remember, at times you might be having some information into the sheet, but you don't want to, let's say, some people to make modifications into those sheets. So what you're actually going to do is very simple. So for example, you want someone to come and, let's say, the dose of a certain school, you have given this file to your teachers. You want them to actually put in their individual, let's say, results for their subjects, but you don't want them to modify any other item into that sheet. So first of all, you'll have to select that range of, let's say, cells that you want someone to edit, and leave out the others that you don't want someone to edit. For example, I want someone to enter results for only ICT. So that means that I will come and select this ICT. So now, when I select ICT, that means that I have to make it editable, such that whenever someone comes to my sheet, it has to be easy to edit, or it has to be editable. And all these other cells have to be non-editable. Are we together? So that means that we have to make this one not locked, and we shall leave these ones locked. So what we are going to do, we shall right click and come to formatting of the cells. Or if that one is difficult for you, you'll come and click Ctrl+1. Of course, it will also take you there. Or if you come to the alignment section, you'll come and click on the toolbox launcher. That arrow pointing down, it will also take you to that location. So you can use either way. So when you come there, you're going to come to what we call the protection. So when you come to the protection, it is showing you that it is now locked. So we have to make it, or we have to uncheck this such that it is not locked. Then after, we shall be able to provide a password to our worksheet. Are we together? It is very simple. So first select only that column or cell that you want to, let's say you want it to be editable or edited, then you'll uncheck it. That means that it is not going to be locked. Then afterwards, you'll provide a password to your worksheet. That is very simple. Come and say, okay. That means that only ICT is going to be edited. Are we together? So all other subjects are going to be locked, and the other information is going to be locked. So what you'll do, you'll say, okay. Then on the review tab, you're going to come and say, I want to protect my sheet. So what you'll do, you'll come and click on it. So it will ask you for a password. Remember down here, we also have allow all users of this worksheet to. So that means that whenever you tick something here, that person has to or has an authority of modifying that item. So if you uncheck all of them, that means that that person is not going to do anything that is related to that sheet, or he will only or she will only modify the one that is only editable. Are we together? So he will only be able to work on only ICT. Are we together? So he will not be able to make any change there. Let's try and see. If I put a password here, let's say I put let's say that means that allow users of this worksheet to, that means that you can allow them to do some of the items here, delete columns. If you don't want to allow anything, then you can uncheck them all. So we can come and say okay. Then we can have to retype that password again. Then we say okay. So now that means that all our cells here are locked apart from ICT. So that means that someone cannot make any modification in any other cell apart from those ones of the ICT here. So let's first come and say, for example, if I come and type here, let's say I see someone got 87. We come here and say, let's say 98, let's say 99, let's say 96, let's say 68, and let's say 85. So those are that is the subject that we had to fill in our results as the ICT teacher. Now you're seeing other formulas are automatically changing because we already included our formulas. So if I come onto this one and I, let's say, make some modification, so it will not allow me to make any change. That is very simple. And whenever you want, let's say give someone access, that means that you'll have to unprotect the sheet. That means that they will be able to access all these files and make changes there. You see, whenever I click somewhere that it is not allowed, it is telling me that it is not allowed. So when I type something, they are telling me that the cells or chart you're trying to change is on a protected sheet. That means that I cannot modify that. I'm just a teacher of ICT. That means I'm only going to enter the results for ICT. I cannot modify chemistry because I don't teach chemistry. So that is how we can protect our sheet. Now, if we are done with that one, we are going to see how we can as well make some, let's say we want to prevent someone from actually viewing some hidden worksheets, adding, let's say moving, deleting, or hiding worksheets. That means that we have to protect our workbook. Are we together? So now, if I unprotect this, if I come and unprotect this, that means that it will ask me for a password. I will come and say, put in the password. So if I unprotect it, they are telling me that the password you supplied is not correct. So that means that I didn't put a correct password. So I can come and say, let's say I put in the right password. So that means that whenever I come to, let's say, to chemistry, if let's say the DOS, the Director of Studies, let's say the teacher has returned my file, then I can as well give it to another teacher, then lock other items that I want. So that teacher of chemistry can as well also add in the values. You see. So if you want to limit someone from, let's say, modifying your data from a sheet, you can come or raise and protect your sheet. I told you, you can select all those items you want someone to actually perform on the sheet. Let's protect it again. So we can do it again one more time. We can do it again one more time. Then we say, okay. That means that someone will come, for example, I want to type here. It will ask me, it will tell me that this I'm trying to, it is already protected. That's how you can limit some people from modifying your information on a worksheet. And I'm done with that one. So now we are going to see how we can protect a workbook. So to protect, that means that you want to prevent other users from, let's say, viewing hidden worksheets, adding, removing, deleting, hiding sheets, and even renaming them. You can as well protect a workbook. And actually, it is protecting the workbook is not the same as protecting the Excel file or the worksheet with a password. So they are all different. So now let's look at how we can protect our workbook. That means that before we protect our workbook, that means that someone can as well actually make some changes here. You see all these items here. Someone can insert, someone can delete, someone can rename, can copy. There are many, can even change the color. So if we want to limit all these items, we can as well come and protect our workbook. So that means that we are going to come and say protect workbook. Very simple. That means that we are going to be protecting the structure of our workbook. So I can come and put in the password. For example, I put in another password. So I'll click OK. They will tell me to retype it again. So that is it. So that means that if now I've protected my workbook, someone cannot add, someone cannot unhide, someone cannot even add a worksheet here, a sheet. For example, when I come and right click again, you're seeing all these ones are inactive. So someone cannot view the tab color, cannot hide, cannot unhide, cannot even insert, cannot delete. Have you seen how it works? For example, if I want someone, for example, to add a sheet, I will come and, let's say, unprotect it. For example, I will come and click on it. Then it will ask me for a password. I'll put in my password. So when I come down here, I can as well be able to make the changes. For example, I can come and put a sheet. You see, it is now empty. So I can come back to this one. So if I want to delete this one, I can come and say, let's say, delete. Are you seeing the changes? So now, after protecting our workbook, those things are going to be, all those options are going to be inactive. So let's do it again. Then they'll tell me to retype it again such that I don't forget it. So I'll come and say, okay. So when I come back down here, I want to add a sheet. I click on it. It doesn't work. When I come back here, I'll right click, then all these options are inactive. So it's been actually Henry the computer guy, and we've talked about 3 things. The first one was protection of our Excel file. Another one was protection on our worksheet. And lastly, we have talked about the protection on our workbook. So it's been Henry the computer guy, and I beg you to please subscribe to my YouTube channel and also share the link to those people who need this content. And thank you for being such a good audience. Looking forward to seeing you subscribe to my channel. Bye bye. I sign out.